Welcome to UG50 and Beyond, Your Vision, Our Mission. This program is produced by the Public Relations Division of the University of Guyana and seeks to highlight the programs and services of the university. My name is Lisa Sumra and I am the host. And in studio with me are representatives from the Faculty of Education and Humanities, and they will be speaking to us about some of the programs and initiatives of the faculty. To my right is Mr. Will Campbell, and he is a lecturer in the psychology. And to his right is the Deputy Dean of the faculty, Ms. Cara Lord. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. When some of us think about the Faculty of Education and Humanities, we often think about training teachers for the educational sector. But the faculty is more than just that. There's the education arm and the humanities arm. Tell us a little about both and how they complement each other.
Okay, so just to start you off, first of all, Ms. Summer, thanks so much for having us, and thanks so much for watching the program, viewers. We want to be able to just share with you a little bit about the Faculty of Education and Humanities so that we kind of understand what it is that we do as a faculty altogether. We don't usually separate it in terms of saying this is education, this is humanities. We're one faculty. However, we do have programs in education. Our primary program is the Bachelor's Degree of Education, and we have that in a number of specialization areas. Particularly, we have the early childhood specialization. We have specialization for primary teachers, for secondary teachers, and they can do a bachelor specific to whatever subject area it is that they teach. Okay. And so for our teachers, we do have bachelor's of education programs. We also have graduate programs, so our postgraduate programs in education, as well as a master's program in education. However, the humanities section of it, if we want to call it that, so to speak, offers programs in languages, in the arts, and has a combination of activities and programs that allow students to be a little bit more hands-on, be a little bit more training oriented, so that what they learn is really what they do. So, for example, and we don't have just bachelor's. We start from associate degree programs as well, and then you can move into your bachelor's degree in arts or in English, particular foreign language. We also offer service courses in the languages to other programs within the University of Guyana. So we're responsible for the use of English program. Almost all the first year students have to do that program. That's a mandatory course at the University of Guyana. And we also have Spanish, Portuguese, and Mandarin that's offered through our faculty at the University of Guyana. So we have quite a number of things happening in the Faculty of Education and Humanities that's not just education specific.
Got you. What is the duration of some of these programs? What's the average time?
Yeah, so there are a few things that you can do in 2 years, which are more the associate degree programs, which is offered through the humanities section. And then generally speaking, you'll take 4 years to complete your bachelor's. Some students who are doing the education program, usually those students come directly to us through the Sarah Potter College of Education, so CPC. They go through training college, so they come to us with a degree certification already, whether it's a trained teacher certificate or an associate degree in education. They come to us with that qualification already, and so we have worked to reduce the amount of time it takes for them to be able to graduate, so those students can complete their program in about 3 years.
Discuss the entry requirements for these programs.
So it's different for the humanities programs, and the education programs have different entry requirements. So, for example, if you want to do a bachelor's of education, you do need to come to us through CPC. That means you do need to have a qualification from them before you can apply to the University of Guyana Faculty of Education and Humanities to do a bachelor's in education. So you'd need to come with a trained teacher certificate or an 80 degree. Um, but that's for our bachelor's. If you want to get into something like our postgraduate or a master's, you can have so for postgrad, you can have a bachelor's in any area.
Okay.
If you've done something in social sciences, natural sciences, doesn't matter. Once you have a bachelor's degree from the University of Guyana or a recognized university, you can apply to do our postgraduate in education program. Our master's in education, however, requires that you do have a bachelor's in education, as it is a specialized master's program. So that's the entry requirement for that. That's pretty simple and straightforward. In our humanities courses, I think these entry requirements more meet what is standardized across the University of Guyana. So having at least 5 subjects,
Yes.
math and English included, having passes from grades 1 to 3 in those courses. Some of our programs, for example, our art programs, we have entry requirements that will allow you to, if you've been a student at Borough School of Arts or another institution that has given you some kind of formal training in the area that you're applying to study, we would accept those qualifications as well.
Okay, great. What about some of the new programs that are scheduled to come on stream? Tell us.
Yeah, so I'm happy that Mr. Campbell is here with us because our very most recent program is the Bachelor's in Youth and Community Development. Mr. Campbell is not only a lecturer in psychology, but he is also the coordinator of this new program that we have. And so I'll ask him to speak to it and see what's about and what's happening in it so far.
Thank you very much. This program, the Bachelor of Arts in Youth and Community Development Studies, is a follow-on from the Commonwealth Youth Project that offered training in youth leadership previously. So now we want to offer a bachelor's in the area, so as to professionalize community work and to professionalize youth work. The good thing about this program, well, there are lots of good things about this program, but is that it doesn't seek to replace volunteer youth workers or volunteer community workers, but there is a need now to take our work in these areas to a higher level, to the next level, and so people can become professionals in these areas. Now, the degree itself is fairly broad-based. It's a very solid general degree, so that people can move on to higher learning in several areas with a Bachelor of Arts in Youth and Community Development. Now, because it's youth and because it's community, some people think that this is, just another training program for volunteer workers, but it's not. It's a solid academic program, of course, with good practicum components, so that when you pass through this course, you have supervised practicum in the field, so that you're really professional in what you do.
And not to cut you, but the entry requirements for this program is not standard. It's not the same as we have throughout the other courses at the university. So, if Will could share some of that, I think would be good for our audience.
Yes. So you can go through the traditional channel, 5 subjects, including math and English. You can come into this program with an associate in diploma in social work, or associate degree in education. There are also other channels for people who've been working,
in the
field, in the area. They can also come in, even if they don't have the traditional requirements. However, they would have to successfully take the University of Guyana entrance examination.
Okay.
Now, there might be some persons who, have, a number of subjects at CSEC, but not math or not English. And those people can take the math or the English or both qualifying exams through the University of Guyana, which are offered through the Institute of Distance and Continuing Education. So there are different tracks you can use to matriculate to this program, because we want to make it accessible without lowering the standard entry requirements for the University of Guyana.
Okay. What has been the response like to date?
People have been applying, not as fast as we would like, but the response has been fairly good. We already have a cohort that's ready to move forward. We are, over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, going to hold an orientation exercise for new students, and they're going to actually start in the third semester, which is
Okay.
the summer
Summer
semester,
period,
as some
yeah.
some would refer to it. Um, Another good thing about this program is that it will be offered in a blended format, which means that
Great.
some of our courses are offered on campus, some of them are face to face, and those courses are done in the evening. So if you're already employed somewhere, you don't have to leave your job in order to be able to apply to this program. But about 60% of the coursework, nearly two-thirds of the coursework of the courses in this program will be offered online. So you don't even have to come to campus for those courses. You can do that in your spare time, so to speak. Of course, you're going to have to be fairly disciplined because you have to submit work every week and so on. But we think with that approach, it makes it really accessible to people who want to gain these qualifications, but are not able to leave their employment and come to campus full time.
Okay, what are some of the spin-off positions or jobs that one can acquire with such a qualification?
All right. The program covers areas like public management. So those same jobs that you could get with a degree in public management, for example, you can go in that direction. There are those people who might want to work in local government. There are those who might want to become youth leaders or manage NGOs. Even people who want to become program managers. People, what is that program? Project management.
Yes.
Right.
Project
All of
management.
those are areas. Social work. And it has enough of a psychology base as well for those people who might want to move on in that area later on.
Okay, great. What are some of the other opportunities? What are some of the other areas? Social work is another area under the Faculty of Education and Humanities.
No, so we don't actually have social work within the Faculty of Education and Humanities. I believe that falls under
Social sciences, correct.
However, we do have courses that are geared towards history. I mentioned the languages before. One of the things that I want to mention is that our history program in particular, we have been focused on revitalizing this program.
Great.
And this is something that we're doing not specifically for history, but we're looking at our programs across the board as well. So our education programs also and our humanities programs, we're looking to kind of review them, revise them, revisit them, see what it is that we really like about them, what's working, what it is that we need to update and upgrade to ensure that we're really still current with what's happening today, and in terms of the teaching practices and all of that. So we've been looking across the board at ensuring that our programs are revisited so that they're a lot more attractive. And one of the things we want to ensure that we do is not just rebrand them in terms of renaming them. So we could automatically just look at history and try to call it something fancy, but still offer you the same
Correct.
history course. That's not what we're trying to do. We've actually been working in teams, so based on our departments, on how we not only repackage things and revise and revisit, but how we ensure that that is relevant to what people would like to do in their jobs, how they're going to use the information that we give to them. We've been working on ensuring that we include, as Mr. Campbell mentioned, practical components in our programs
That's
so
very
that people are
important.
able to use the skills that they learn from us at the university. We don't want to just have people come and you sit down in class and it's boring and you're just taking in all this knowledge, and then you do an exam, you pass the exam and you have this degree, but then you don't quite know how to use it. And so because of that, we've gone back to look at our programs to ensure that it's a lot more appealing for people. They understand the value of it and they appreciate their time spent at the University of Guyana at acquiring this degree program. So our history program is being revitalized. We've also been doing a lot of work in the area of language and cultural studies. As you know, or may not know actually, we are celebrating the Year of Indigenous Languages. And so our colleagues within the Department of Language and Cultural Studies have done a number of activities so far already to really recognize and not just recognize, but ensure that we are preserving and we're appreciating the fact that we have Indigenous languages that are spoken here in Guyana. I remember speaking with the Vice Chancellor recently who recalled that, one of the things we did quite at the very beginning of the year, when we visited an Amerindian community, he was really so appreciative to be able to hear our national anthem and our pledge and these things being recited in our indigenous languages. And it's really something to really ensure that we don't miss out on the fact that we have things that are very local and natural to Guyana, and that's something that our colleagues have been working on, is ensuring that we not only preserve the language but recognize it and promote it. And we've been looking at understanding recognizing English as a second language,
Yes,
and
yes. Very important
appreciating
to
our mother
recognize that.
tongue. And so I mean, colleagues within that department are very aspirational in terms of the work that they're doing. There's a conference that's coming up as well. I'll encourage you guys to visit our faculty webpage to find out so much more about what we're doing in terms of the activities that we'll be able to have during the upcoming year. Our faculty webpage is something that you can find on the University of Guyana website, Faculty of Education and Humanities. We don't have a separate webpage, but it's something that you can find through the website, and that will give you more details on upcoming activities that we'll have. Yeah.
Okay, talk about some of the collaborative initiatives. I know from time to time we have lectures from international professors and so forth. Talk about some of the collaborative activities or initiatives within the faculty.
Okay, so, oh boy. A couple of things that we do. So one of the things that we are supposed to be responsible for is our artist in residence is supposed to be working directly with the Faculty of Education and Humanities.
Great.
I don't think we've been able to really nail down somebody who is going to continue on with us. I know if it's not this academic year, it's last academic year, we had Ras Kamo as the artist in residence, and PACE has been working to ensure that we always have somebody who's artist in residence to be able to work with not just putting on shows for the university, but also working with our students more hands-on. And our music program, we look forward for that being able to benefit. We do have summer programs coming up as well, which I want to be able to mention includes a music component. So we have that. We try to keep on top of that. We also have a representative who acts as the Walter Rodney Chair. While that person is not resident, it gives us they should be resident, but they're not always there. It gives us an opportunity to collaborate with persons outside of Guyana. I'm pretty pleased that one of the things that the Vice Chancellor has been able to do is to have education resource ambassadors who are colleagues from different parts of the world. So the United States of America, who live in the UK, and they're able to share with us resources and to be able to assist us when we actually need to collaborate. We have a colleague from the Department of Social Studies who is off on sabbatical at this time, and he's able to meet with some of our education resource ambassadors as he travels to do some research in the United States, and they're able to kind of take care of him and chaperone and ensure that he is able to do the kind of work that he needs to do when he's out there. So there are a number of things that we do in terms of collaboration. I mentioned the revitalization of the history program. We do have about 3 persons who are going to work with us. One or two of them who are not sent local to Guyana, but have done work in Guyana or our diaspora from here, who will come back, who will ask to come back to help us as we look at reoffering our history program, and also looking at a master's in the history area as well. So there are a lot of opportunities as well, and we are very appreciative and pleased to be able to have it a number of ways. So I recall we had a session that the anthropology unit did quite recently, not too long ago, where we had guest speakers and that kind of thing. And I don't get to go to everything, but I mean,
busy woman.
a lot of things happen through the faculty, and we're so pleased about it. I want to be able to recognize one of our lecturers who recently had a art exhibition Mr. Winslow Craig recently put on his art exhibition. I believe it was at Castellani
He does a
House.
fantastic
And he
job.
is, yes, we're so lucky to have him. He is by far one of the best local artists who still reside here in Guyana. And we're always pleased to see his work. He also collaborated with Miss Elodie Cage Smith, and they worked on the new J. Subraj building. They
Yes.
worked on the art piece that's out there, looks at the mind and that kind of thing. It's really lovely. And I know he collaborated with Mr. Philbert Gajdar, who's done work on the new monument that's there in New Amsterdam, the Indian Arrival Monument. And so we're pleased to have people in the faculty who really do work to give back to Guyana and do work to developing our country as well.
Okay. Talk a little. I know you guys are very passionate about psychology. Talk a
boy.
little bit about the psychology program.
So you're actually lucky to have two psychologists here.
Yes.
And I believe it's just the two of us. We're the two persons in the Faculty of Education and Humanities who work specifically in the area of psychology. That's our area of specialization. And while the new psychology programs that we're bringing on stream isn't necessarily resident in the faculty, it is programs that, of course, we have personal interest in. I don't know if Will wants to share anything specific about it, but before he does, I just want to mention that, so we've already started the diploma in psychology. That's begun. We're on our second cohort for that. We have launched recently the master's in clinical psychology.
Great.
So that the program for that has been approved. We'll be looking to take in applications quite soon so that we can start the actual teaching engagement
And
in
what has been the
September.
response like for
You
the
know,
psychology program?
I know I don't want to give my mouth liberty
Yes,
because it's
that's
not my
fine.
faculty.
That's
so in
fine.
terms of applications coming in, I can't speak to that. But I can speak to the fact that my office is called very regularly and my phone is messaged very regularly, and I'm sure Will gets questions and queries as well about what's happening. Are you guys ready? And when is the program going to start? What do I need to do? And we tend to have to give advice, and we're very happy to do that because it's an area that we really love. So I think the response, more word of mouth, has been very positive.
great.
People are looking forward to it. They know that we need to have psychology programs in Guyana. They recognize the need for it, and I'm happy that the University of Guyana is able to respond to that.
Yes.
And I want to thank the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Engagement, and the Deputy Vice Chancellor for PACE as well. So DVC Scott and DVC Mohammed, who have really led the progress to ensure that we have these programs on board. Last thing I'm going to say is that the Bachelor's of Psychology is one that I'm personally really excited about. We look forward to launching that soon, as we'd like to be able to have applicants to that as well for this September.
Okay. Is there
Will didn't get to say anything.
opportunity?
Sorry,
He
Will.
can still say
Yeah, I'd
that's
like
okay.
to quickly focus just a little bit brief.
I just thought I can plug that because I know we
I
have two
appreciate
psychologists.
that. I do appreciate
around.
it. Yeah.
I want to focus on how we apply psychology in education. I mean, our focus here is to train our teachers so that they are able to apply psychological principles to their
Great.
teaching practice.
Great.
In addition to that, the faculty is designing programs for applied psychology and law enforcement as well. And so in the summer program, pardon me,
Yeah.
some
You
people
didn't
don't like
get
us
to
to
plug
talk
that.
about
You
summer
didn't get to
program.
plug that.
You know, we have applied psychology for law enforcement, where prison officers, policemen, members of the Guyana Defense Force can come in and, be able to also learn psychology that is relevant to the work that they do, so that they are better equipped to perform their duties. Very soon, we'd like to also provide more training for school counselors, and it is hoped that very shortly we'll be able to offer a master's degree in school counseling, so that we can raise the quality of the services that we offer of counseling services that we offer in our schools. So our faculty is not the psychology department,
Understood.
but we are very much involved in providing psychological training for teachers and a wide array of professionals.
Great. Any final thoughts?
Oh boy, final thoughts. I'm just really pleased to be able to represent the faculty, and I want in closing to say that while we're not the largest faculty at the University of Guyana, we're quite a big one, and we're happy to have applicants to our programs. We offer a number of degree programs from the associates to the master's level. Even though the master's is not something we're taking in right now, we're hopeful to be able to take in students for that in the upcoming year. I know students are very eager to be able to enter that program, so I want you to know that we have not forgotten you. We know that you want to do that master's, and we're going to be able to open it in the next academic year, not this one coming up. We appreciate the support that we have from our applicants, from our students. They work very assiduously with us. And also, I want to say that we are not just a faculty about academia. We're not just about academics and doing book work all the time. And I'm pleased that even though we have a large amount of teachers in our faculty, teachers are quite active in the extracurricular activities that we have at the University of Guyana. Our faculty was well represented at the interfaculty athletic competition that was held in March. We placed third overall, and we won everything for the March Pass category. I'm very pleased about that. I'm actually wearing my sport jersey under this jacket right now. How pleased I am. And we also placed second and third in the interfaculty domino competition.
Congratulations.
We had 2 teams in there as well. So we have other activities outside of just doing book work and academics that we're engaged in, and we invite persons to join us in the Faculty of Education and Humanities, see what we have to offer. Channel that through our website. You can, look up for emails, message people, find out what's happening, call the office of the Deputy Dean as well. We're responsible for student affairs and engagement. Call that office, ask questions, and we'll be so happy to assist you. And thank you so much for having us, Lisa.
Thank you. Great information. Applications are currently open for the new academic year 2019-2020. So please apply. It closes on May 31, and thank you for watching.